Hello, I am Yesenia Wicker, and whether it has been long term or short term, we have all set a goal and when not achieved in a set time frame, beat ourselves up about it. Mainly because in society, we tend to compare ourselves based off of our age, religion, or just goals, achievements, and have told ourselves that we are behind in life because we have not quite met that milestone yet compared to others. Let's take college, for example. Some kids go to college right after high school and some wait. But that does not determine when you finish. If you have changed majors or took a break in between while going to college. Setting goals are great, but don't make yourself feel like you must achieve them in a specific time frame, and it is better to move at your own pace than to be going nowhere fast. Today, I will tell you about two examples of moving at your own pace in life. First, I will explain the Aesop fable, The Hare and the Tortoise, to demonstrate that slow and steady can also win the race. Then, I will share a story of my own, which will show that sometimes you get nowhere fast trying to compare and keep up with others. Let's first focus on the Aesop fable, The Hare and the Tortoise. In this fable, the hare and the tortoise were having a conversation with the other animals in the forest, and the hare began to boast about being the fastest animal in the forest and that he could beat any animal that there was that wanted to race him. Surprisingly, the tortoise took him up on his challenge, and the other animals in the forest began to set up a course for the hare and the tortoise to test out the hare's theory. When the race started, the hare took off fast, completely out of sight. And shortly after, he decided to take a stop and take a nap so that he could remorsefully give the tortoise a head start. Within that time frame, the tortoise began to plod along and plod until he began to win the race. The hare at this point jumped up and realized that the tortoise was so far ahead of him and close to the finish line that he began to speed up, but he was not quite fast enough to beat the tortoise in the race. Sorry. Sorry, I lost my focus. Okay, to sum this up, this fable teaches us that steady and consistent can still also win a race. Now, let's venture into a personal experience. I've tried college frequently throughout the last few years, mainly because most times that I've tried to achieve a degree in college, I was also working in retail. And it was a very hard balance between work life, school, and home life. And I felt that at that time that I was behind compared to other high schoolers that I had went to school with, where I've seen where they had nice fancy cars and were now homeowners, and I was not quite there yet. At 18, I graduated pregnant. 10 days later, I had a kid, and it kind of put me back, but I still tried not to let that deter me from going to college and obtaining a degree. Therefore, I still went, but I had a lot of stumbles along the way. So I began to then realize that I could not compare myself to others, and I had to make time and find the time frame where I could then too achieve these things as my peers. So I stepped down and it decreased me in pay, which set me back in a lot of other things in life. But I then began to focus more on schooling and home life and not more on work life because, in the long run, I would then win by obtaining my degree. And then I would then have the money and the flashy things and the homes and the cars. So these stories relate because each time the understanding was that fast does not always mean you win or achieve the goal that you want successfully. In conclusion, as retold and explained, in both stories, there will always be someone faster and farther along in life than you. But that does not mean that that defines you or how far you can and will go in life. From trying But always remember to get things done on your own comfortable pace and that you are in control of your own destiny. Never define yourself or your goals based off someone else. Thank you. Are there any questions?